Everybody to Show Me Online Teaching. This is our season finale, and our goal has been to provide some practical support for teaching online as we all scrambled to support all of our students through this COVID-19 transition. These episodes are on our YouTube channel, and we plan to be back for season 2 this summer. But today we're really lucky to have one of the calmest and smartest writing teachers that I know. So I'm really excited to have Dr. Amy Landon with us. And I'm going to go ahead and mute myself and let Amy introduce herself and take over.
Okay. Hello, everyone. And Katie, that was way too kind. Thank you. It's really good to be with you all writing this afternoon. We're going to be doing some writing and just, I guess, a little bit about me. So in addition to my work with the Writing Project, I get to work at the University of Missouri in the campus writing program. And in that program, I get to work with people who are teaching writing and committed to writing all across campus, all across the disciplines. And I will say that some of my thinking for what we're doing today has come from some of those interactions as people have been trying to figure out how to be good teachers, and some of them other things like their research has been on hold, and not that that's good, but it has made them stop and really think about their teaching. And it's really powerful to see what happens when we really think about our teaching and our writing. So we're going to start though with a little bit of a warm-up, and that is the 6-word memoir, which I think a lot of you are familiar with. And so Julie's doing a screen share, and the very first thing then is to just make sure you got some paper and a good pen, something to write with as we go today. And a 6-word memoir for spring 2020. So it could be a Corona memoir. It could be silly. It could be not so silly, because it's important that we model what we ask one another to do. I will share just a couple of ones that I've been working on. One is Worms Wiggle in the Dirt, Lettuce Grows. And that's one of my 6-word memoirs for life right now, because we've started gardening and it's been decades since I've gardened. Another one that's just a little bit more, I guess, emotional for me is I Want to Hug My Daughter, because I haven't really been able to see her as much or just give her a really big hug. So I'm going to be quiet now, and I'm going to ask all of you to take just a couple minutes. These are not perfect. This is a first draft 6-word memoir. And then after you have it done, type it into your chat, but don't hit return yet. I'm going to count down and tell you when to hit return so we can populate the chat with all of our 6-word memoirs at one time. So I'm going to be quiet. We're all going to write 6-word memoirs. Looks like some of you are wrapping up, so take another minute. Go ahead and type it in, but don't hit return. I'll give us all a countdown when we're ready to post these on the chat. Can I get some thumbs up as people are ready? Okay, good. 3, 2, 1. Let's populate chat. Here we go. And then, of course, take a moment and start reading all of these wonderful 6-word memoirs.
I'll just share a few of these out loud, if that's okay.
Please, thank you.
So let's see. We've got Real Growth Happens in Unexpected Ways from Luann. Amy added, Isolation Filled with Hungry, Busy Coworkers. I like that, especially emphasis on the hungry. I wrote, As Humans Shelter, Nature Burst Forth, and Distance May Separate, but Love Connects. Julie picked up on the food one here too. When is the next meal expected? Love that. Casey, do you want to share yours and then on?
Sure. Yesterday, I was just thinking all day long about my Zoom fatigue. So Zoom fatigue, no longer welcome here is mine. And then Katie had some spring blooms while the virus looms. She's got a little poetry rhyme scheme going on. Telework is really changing from afar, from Debbie. Lisa adds, moving forward without denying the facts. Julie added another one, teenage girls in isolation don't mix. We persevere because we have to. Bummer for my kids, no friends. Jan is online. Welcome, Jan. Academic relationships tested in sudden darkness. And Luann ends this little session right here with a question. When can we hug others again?
Thank you. Thank you. All right, so that's got our thinking warmed up a bit. Julie, if you'll go to the next slide for us. I want us to now really go into a little bit more depth of some reflecting on the semester, because I mean, we hear people say they've never had anything like this. This is a time like no other, etc. And I don't know how many of you have been doing some daily writing. I know a lot of you have, and I realize that some of the writing that we probably need to do, though, is to capture the things that we are noticing about our own teaching and our students' learning. So I put together on this slide just some things to think about, and then we're going to start doing first some list writing. So I'm going to ask us to reflect on this semester, listing as many standout moments as you can. And I say standout not because maybe they're great. They are probably very painful. There's probably all kinds of frustrations. But the experiences that have made up this semester, the emotions, the words, and just a quick listing. And so again, I'm going to be quiet for a couple minutes and ask that you just start listing on a new page in your notebook of all the different things that stand out, moments. And it might be just some things that I was thinking I may focus on would be, you know, that day I had to pack up and leave campus, you know, packing up office, packing up classroom. An assignment that I had to then try and redo and make it for online learning. Maybe it was a particular email or phone call, some kind of interaction with student or another, or a colleague. Maybe it was a new resource you've discovered and now you're becoming, you know, wow, I'm now a fan of whatever it is. So reflect on those things, big, small, good, not so good. I'm going to be quiet now in 2 minutes to list. Okay, let's take just another couple seconds to add any final things. And um, this time I'm going to ask just very quickly, if anybody has one or two to share, either unmute yourself and share it or throw it up in the chat. A couple things that are on your list that maybe stand out of everything else on your list. I know I found that food, kind of like the 6-word memoir, has got us thinking that I think half my list deals with food, meal planning, meal preparation, trying to figure out how to get groceries, and then all that goes with meals. And not that that's a bad thing, but I realize that is a very big part of my life right now. So what are some things that were on your lists? Yeah, so Lisa's also saying more people cooking. Oh, Casey, talking with teachers in emotional space. Mm-hmm. Oh, and a writing award. Jan, congratulations for your student, Sunny. That's wonderful. So what I'm going to ask us to do now is to choose one or two, or maybe like me, you've kind of got a theme going and you want to take one of that theme and take it into a more in-depth writing. So whether it's a theme that you're seeing or maybe a particular moment, memory person, choose one of those things that you could take some time on writing. And I want to note also, we've got more things coming up in the chat. So text message from student. The collapsing and drawing out of time. Oh, Luann, I like that. The whole thing about time and how time is changed for us. Okay. Oh, we've got lots of great things to get started. Okay, so probably go to a new page or screen or however you're wanting to do this. This is going to be a little bit longer writing time. So I am not going to interrupt us probably for about an 8 to 10 minute writing. We'll kind of see how it goes. And you may start one and think, no, it's not doing anything for you, and may want to go to a different topic. But I'm going to ask Julie to go to the next slide because I did write down just some things for us to think about during our writing time. That again, we're going to choose one item and start writing on that one item, but giving ourselves permission to move into other items. But what's interesting is that, you know, as you're writing, think about what is it about this that stands out? Like, why is cooking? Why is time? Why do those things stand out to us? So really try to interrogate what's on our list. But I think also if we're writing about a memory, what is it about that memory we want to hold on to? And in our writing, we want to think about what makes that memory. And so what are the things, whether it's, maybe it's the sound, and it is the, you know, right now it's the people out mowing right now, you know, maybe it's the smells that we're noticing. Maybe it's the conversation that we want to try and capture in our words. So try to create those details as you can, but also know that this may become a poem. I think that's kind of what mine started out really becoming. It was a poem, but it might also become a letter or an essay or something altogether different. So be open where those words may take you and the type of writing you may produce. Any questions somebody wants to unmute and ask before we start writing time? All right, well, hopefully you're ready to start getting that pen moving across. So let's begin. Okay, if you would find a good place to bring those ideas to a close. I don't know about all of you, but I started writing. I kind of forgot that I was supposed to actually stop. So, kind of liked where this started going. So here's what I know we don't have time for all of us to share, and I do want to be mindful of time and wrap up here in about 5 minutes. Um, but if you would be willing to share, if we have a couple people, and just put your name in the chat or unmute and start talking, we'll see if we can hear all or part of what anybody has written, if you'd be willing to share that. And or share what it was like writing about that. But Luann, if you would share a part, that would be great.
Yeah, I'll just do a quick part of what I wrote because I was the one that talked about time a little bit. So can you all hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay. So I wrote, what day is it? The markers that heralded each day are effaced as each day dawns the same. I look forward to good weather, which nowadays lately happens about every third or fourth day. It's May, I guess, and I only know by the one on my phone calendar, and it was the longest and dreariest and scariest April on record. And the longest March, too. St. Patty's Day? What? It happened. That is all. Easter? Same. It happened. Both only because time marches on, not because we have markers anymore, of special days, of days of the week even. It's Friday, so what? But no TGIF here. There's no groan toward the accomplishment of fulfilling energy that is demanded by a week, because there's no relief to sigh toward. There's just tomorrow, which brings in this petty pace.
Luann, thank you. Hey, can you read that last line? You went out on that last line and I wanted to hear what
I said there's, let me see. It's Friday, but no TGIF, no groan toward the accomplishment of fulfilling energy that is demanded by a week, because there is no relief to sigh toward. There's just tomorrow, which creeps in this petty pace.
Oh, petty pace. Wow. Okay. Thank you. Yeah. Okay. Katie Klein.
All right, so mine is called What We Did for Fun While Trapped at Home for 8 Weeks. On drive-by dessert night, we did takeout, tres leches, churros, and flan. We donned silly hats and boas and delivered dessert to my kids' grandparents. When Iris turned 16, we surprised her on an empty street with a non-moving car parade of her family and friends. Signs, streamers, and posters declared our love. When so many of my cousin's kids started looking for more excitement, we decked out our car in a KC sports theme and reused our Royals Homer hankies and Chiefs touchdown towels and Sporting KC scarves. And we paraded to 6 of my mom's siblings' houses and danced carside to We Are Family. To return the favor, my mom and her siblings car paraded to all of our houses, tossing out disinfected candies and having a toast at each of our houses. Most nights you'll find us in our driveway or someone else's, relaxing in our camping chairs, waving to our neighbors walking by who are counting the dancing bears in our windows or admiring the fairy garden at the base of our tree. What we did for fun when we were trapped at home for 8 weeks, these are the memories I want to remember most.
Wow, Katie, thank you. That's wonderful. And we would probably have time for another 1 or 2 to share. If before we do that though, Julie, if you'd go to the next slide, this is the last slide. You know, when I was thinking about what we're doing with this and having this time to reflect, and certainly I'm thinking about us as the audience, but certainly with students, I would want to do this same kind of thing. I know we've been joking around. In the image there, you see my husband and then John, and then you can kind of tell Justin looks like a mini John, and Justin's girlfriend Jolie, and then Bakuru. These are my office mates. These are my family right now. So we're spending a lot of time together. So when I wrote about the food and the cooking and this has been a big part of our life together. But you also notice a game, and our evenings have ended pretty much with, after we finish the whole dinner, and we sit down and play a game together. And it's been these are going to be wonderful things that I'll miss when we are back to running like crazy and going to too many activities. And so I want to remember, I want to capture these moments. So we've been talking about actually doing a scrapbook, and we've been taking some photos about our Corona scrapbook that we want to keep of these moments and memories. And so I was thinking, maybe it's a book and a song or some of the humorous memes that kind of get me through a day, especially with cats, because we've had some really funny cat moments. Or again, a student's response to something, or a colleague, something to hold on to. And so I hope that through this, we've been able to find some of those things we do want to hold on to despite the challenges, the things we're also learning about ourselves. So, okay, any final sharing before we wrap up our time together?
May I?
Yeah, we wrap up this semester and think about what I can do and what we each can do to continue on this journey and to really reach the people around us in meaningful ways. So that's been on my mind today, and thank you for writing with me. So Katie.
Thank you, Amy. And I want to thank Lisa for sharing a difficult piece, but it is important for me, I think, because it's just a great reminder for all of us teachers, the balance that we are negotiating, the levity and the gravity at the same time, hitting everybody at different points, hitting our students at different times, and to be able to hold both the gravity and tragedy alongside the lightness that we need to keep going and help us through it is important. It's something that I feel like a lot of us who are a part of these regular Zoom calls have really learned from each other, that this balance is important, and it is what helps us get through this for all of our students. So thank you. Thank you all for joining us, and hope to see you soon for season 2 of Show Me Online Teaching. Bye, everybody. Take care of yourselves and each other.